Notre Dame is coming off a huge win in the first round of the college football playoff, 27-17 over in-state rival Indiana, and now they move on to the Sugar Bowl. And with that, we bring in Eric Hansen of Inside ND Sports. And Eric, they're now going up against a Georgia team coached by Kirby Smart, a defensive guy, and Georgia always known for playing great defense here, especially over their national championship runs recently.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you think about Georgia when you think about their trademark is how good they are on defense. And yet they've shown some vulnerabilities in a couple of games this year and against some teams where Notre Dame has similar strengths to that. So you wonder how Notre Dame might be able to take advantage of that. But Georgia still has great athletes, and if they put it together in any particular game, they can be the best team in the country on defense that day, but they do have some vulnerabilities.
Well, especially too when you have a linebacker like Jalen Walker who can wreak havoc at any point. I want to switch to the other side of the ball now. Carson Beck got injured at the end of the first half in the SEC championship. They turned to Gunnar Stockton, a freshman. That is who they will face in this Sugar Bowl. What have you seen from him on tape and what he provides Georgia?
Well, you know, he came out of high school as more of a dual threat kind of guy. We haven't seen that a lot in his time at Georgia, but he has that in his arsenal. And we saw a little bit about in the SEC championship. We saw him scramble pretty well. Good arm. You know, they have used him about as much as Notre Dame's used Steve Angeli.
Right.
So I do think there's the potential to confuse him some with different looks and different pressures on defense. I also think there's a lot more pressure on him because Georgia's run game hasn't been traditionally as good as it has been. They're around 100th in the country in rush offense. They got Trevor Etienne back recently, and that's going to help, but there's a lot of pressure on that quarterback to carry this offense.
And when you look at this team in general, you've kind of mentioned a couple of gaps. It's not the same team that this Georgia team that has been a national champion in years prior.
You're used to, when you look at them nationally statistically, you're used to seeing things in single digits, especially on the defensive side. They're in the 30s and 40s and 20s, some of those categories. Now, they've played a better schedule than anybody, so you have to account for that a little bit. But it has the brand name, but this is a team that I think Notre Dame can find some ways to be competitive with and maybe come out with a victory.
Well, some things we'll definitely be on the lookout for as Notre Dame is just over a week out from the Sugar Bowl against Georgia. Of course, that's going to be at the Superdome in New Orleans.
I'm Pete Byrne from WSBT-22 News. For more Notre Dame stories, like and subscribe to the WSBT-22 YouTube page. Thanks for watching.